Hello, it's Rebecca here from Precious Pages Papercraft, and I'm back with another project to share for Bramble Fox. And this one's really exciting for me because it's my first kind of off the page project. So the first thing I've created that is not in a 12 by 12 cardstock background. So I'm going to be using the Sunshine and Blue Skies title from the July Fox box, and I've also pulled out the mini palm tree set that's available in the Bramble Fox store. I want to use Cocoa Vanilla Studio Sunkissed collection because I think that will work really well with the colours of the title and those palm trees, lovely, nice, bright, summery colours. So I started off by making some folded paper, kind of 3D palm tree leaves. Now I've made these from just coloured paper that's from Hobbycraft, just A4 paper. And once I'd made them, I realised they were probably two-dimensional for kind of a 12 by 12 background. They would have got crushed and destroyed in an album. So that's when I decided to sort of think off the page. And I had this, it's an embroidery hoop that I got from Hobbycraft ages ago. And I thought I would try making a layout on this instead, and I really love how this turned out. So this won't go in an album or anything, this will hang on my wall, probably in my craft room. So it doesn't matter how dimensional it gets, which was kind of key for this. So I've made the palm tree leaves before hitting record for this. It took a long time to make them. So what I've done is, obviously you'll see the process of me making the project here. I'll show you some close-ups at the end, and then at the very end I will attach the video of me making them so you can kind of see the tutorial how to make them. They're not hard, they're just a little bit time consuming, so I'll pop that video at the end for anybody that does want to watch it. But for now I will talk you through what I'm doing. I've obviously layered those palm trees, the leaves on my embroidery hoop, done a diagonal design. I've already backed my photo off camera with a couple of the papers from the CVS collection, the blue and green type papers. And I've fussy cut some florals from the pattern paper, and I've kind of layered those up with my photo, and you can see where I want to have my title placed at the bottom, kind of nestled in amongst those leaves and across my photo. And I wanted to add a few more palm leaves, so I've got a large wooden stamp from Hobbycraft, and I've used the Mowed Lawn Distress ink and just stamped a couple of those, and I'm fussy cutting those out. And I'm going to use those just kind of as another layer to build up a bit more interest. So you can see I've got one tucked over on the left there and one on the right, kind of behind where my photo will sit. And that's kind of the basis of my project for today. So I'm quite happy with how this is looking, and I'm gonna get everything stuck down. I'm using glossy accents, and with my embroidery hoop, I've put a sheet of 12 by 12 basil cardstock in it. So you kind of get two hoops and you unscrew them at the top. And then I laid the cardstock over the inner hoop, and then I pressed that outer hoop down on top of it. Wasn't the easiest thing to do in the world, but basil cardstock isn't the thickest cardstock, so it did work. It just took a bit of doing, and then I've just trimmed around the back of that just to get the excess off. So I'm using the cardstock to as a base for everything to stick to. So I know Glossy Accents is going to hold everything really well. I also had a paper folded piece there, you can see it on the top left. It's from one of the ombre papers. I was thinking of having it to kind of look like a sun, but decided it was just a step too far, a bit too much for this, and the colours were a bit wrong, so I'm not going to use that on this project. So I'm just simply working my way around, get everything stuck down with the glossy accents. And this is the mini palm tree set. So you get individual palm trees, you get a couple of pairs of palm trees I really love, and they're in like a neon lime green colour. And you also get some neon yellow suns as well. So I've put a single palm tree to the left of my photo, and then I've got one of the double ones to the right on top of my title, and then I've tucked one of the suns in at the top under that leaf and floral cluster. Now I didn't want to completely tuck it under, but I just wanted you to be able to see kind of half of it peeking out like it would behind a cloud. So I've got those in place as well and stuck down again with glossy accents. And now I've decided I just want a couple more florals. I've got that area on the top left there and kind of the bottom right that just look a bit plain. I did consider painting the wood frame with kind of like a navy blue colour. And I still might do that, to be honest, still undecided, but I wanted to have a bit more of it covered up. So I'm just cutting a few more florals from that 12 by 12 paper. I'm just going to layer those around the edge of my layout coming out from behind those palm leaves. So I've got a few more floral clusters cut out, and I'm just going to position those on those edges there just to take up a bit more of the white space. I'm going to raise those up on foam pads just to bring in a bit more dimension. I'm not, like I said, not limited because this won't be going in an album, so I want as much dimension as I can get onto it. And then once I've got those stuck down, that is me finished. Not really got much space to fit anything else on, but I absolutely love how this looks. Loved the process of making it. Love the colours of those palm trees. They just stand out. They're so awesome. So I shall leave you with some close-ups. I'll pop a link in the description box below to the Foxbox subscription page and also to those mini palm trees. And like I said, if you're interested to see how to make these palm trees, I will pop the video at the end. So hold on till the end of these close-ups and you'll get an extra video showing you how to make those leaves. So for those of you that are not going to hang around for that, I shall say goodbye and I will see you guys next time. Hi guys, welcome back. So this section of the video I'm just going to show you how I created these folded palm leaves. So I started off with a sheet of A4 coloured paper. I folded it lengthways in half. Now it's really important to try and get all your folded edges really crisp, so go over them with a bone folder or the edge of a ruler or something. It will really help you when it comes to sort of getting the leaves in their final stage. So cut that A4 paper in half and I'm just going to use 1/2 for one leaf. So fold that in half lengthways, open it back out and fold each edge back into the middle, so effectively folding each side in half. And then open those out and fold each of those 4 sections in half again. Now you could do this using a scoreboard. I did try it that way and I scored every 1/4 of an inch, but I didn't find it matched up as well. So I went back to this folding technique. So you've got each of those 4 sections folded in half. So you've got 8 sections. Now you need to fold each of those in half again. There's a lot of folding going on. So make sure each of those sections are folded in half and try and make those folds as crisp as you can. Now once you've done that, you need to, you guessed it, fold them in half again. They're getting quite small now, so it's becoming a bit more difficult to fold. So for this section I do score, and I couldn't find my scoring blade, so I'm using a tool that I use to ice cakes. I have to replace that now, but I'm scoring down the centre of each of those sections, so it is roughly 1/4 of an inch. slightly over, which is why I said I preferred to do the folding rather than just scoring every 1/4 inch at the beginning. I just found this worked much better. So score down the centre, or if you can fold, then, you know, fair enough, do that. This paper is actually sort of slightly thicker than your average A4 paper, not quite as thick as card. If you've got really thin coloured paper, sorry, then you'll be able to fold this no problem. But this was slightly thicker, so it was easier to score this section. And now you need to fold that into sort of mountains and valleys, or like a fan, concertina it. So fold one way, then fold it back on itself, and just get all of those folds, all those scores that you've done, all nicely folded, as good as you can get. So now all my folds have got a nice kind of crisp fold to them, and you can see I've got my little valleys and mountains there. So now you need to fold that in half, but by doing so it means that your valley and mountains work in opposite directions. So now you need to fold it again, same as before, back and forth, and that just makes them all mountains and valleys in the same directions, and that's quite important for this. So now you're going to make a cut. So just like that, I've got the shorter part there is the open part. So the longer end is where the paper joins in the middle. So now you need to score about 1 centimetre from the bottom and just fold that up. And now we're going to make some cuts to create these leaves, just tidying mine up a little bit there. So the first fold cut you make from the top corner there all the way down to that folded score line there. Don't go all the way to the bottom. And then every other one, you can see what I'm going to do here. I'm just trying to create a leaf shape, and I'm pulling out that section in the middle if they don't line up perfectly. In fact, none of them line up perfectly. So I just pull those bits out. You can see here we are creating leaf shapes. And on the last one, you will probably notice you have a bit left over, so just cut that down all the way to the bottom. And then you can open that up. You'll notice that half of the leaves at this point will be mountains and half of them will be valleys. So fold them all in a way that makes them all valleys. And then you need to fold them up as I'm doing here. This looks tricky, but it's not. This bit comes together really easy because of all those scored folded lines. And then you bring the centre bit at the bottom together, and you can kind of open out your leaves a bit, and there you'll have your leaf. But you'll need to stick that bottom bit together. So I stick double-sided tape all the way around it, and then I will use just an offcut from the green paper just to wrap around that so that it's all the same colour. So this bit's going to go in the bin, so I just cut the largest section off there, the longest bit, and then wrap that around that double-sided tape. And that's what holds your leaf in place. And that's it. Relatively simple. Might take you a while just to get the hang of it, but I really do love the effect that it gives. So that's how you make those leaves. And obviously you've got half your A4 paper left over, so you can get 2 leaves out of an A4 sheet, or make them smaller if you want to. You can probably get 3 out of an A4 sheet. But that's how you make them, guys. So enjoy.